Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brothers Take podcast, the podcast where three brothers give their take on gaming, movies, and any other things we're interested in each and every week. My name is Chris. I'm joined once again by my brothers, Adam
Hello.
and Eric.
Hello.
And we are back in the room this week to take a bit of a side quest from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Spoiler cast, because there's a few other bits and pieces that have come up that we want to talk about. That Joker trailer, you know that's something we want to talk about if you've listened to us before. Fallout, another adaptation of video game, has been turned into a show. We're going to be talking about that. And a few other bits and pieces along the way. So we wanted to take the chance to take a little bit of a break from Rebirth. Big game, we've been talking about it a lot, and we will be coming back to it. But there's just some other things that we wanted to talk about, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this week's episode. And of course, if there's a particular part of the discussion that you're more interested in, everything will be timestamped in the description. So if you're here for that Joker trailer breakdown or discussion, you could just jump in the description. If you're here to hear us talk about Fallout, you can jump in the description. So just check out the timestamps, or if you want to listen to the whole thing, great, and we'd love to hear your take on everything we bring up too. So if this is on YouTube, you can jump down in the comments to share your take on anything that we bring up. And if you enjoyed the discussion, why not give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for all future content, not only episodes like this, but also when we come back to talking about Rebirth in full spoiler cast fashion. And to those of you listening to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on everything that we bring up in this week's episode. But without further ado, let's Sidequest.
How do you pronounce Joker title?
Folie ado.
Without further ado.
So do you guys want to start with Joker?
Go on. Let's go.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Let's start with the Joker trailer. First of all, I suppose when the first Joker was made, and they were all talking about, there's going to be a Joker like origin movie, I was like, I do not want that. That sounds horrible. I am so against this. Not looking forward to it at all.
Yeah.
And then I saw like images of it, and I was like, what the fuck? I don't get this at all. Then I saw the trailer, and I was like, okay, I need to shut up. And I need to watch this movie and give it a chance, because they're not doing what I thought they were doing. Because you have to remember, at this point, we're getting weird,
like Wolverine Origins.
Right, but we're also just getting like weird DC movies where some of them are great and some of them are absolutely awful. So you're just like, I don't know. And at this point, I'm not that familiar with Todd Phillips as a director, and all I hear is the director of the Hangover movies is making a Joker origin movie, and I was like, oh god, like this is gonna be like a real like wink at the camera kind of thing, you know? So then you see the trailer and you go, oh my god, the tone is completely different to what I expected. I need to shut up and watch this movie. And then I watched it. It was like, oh my god, I was so wrong. This movie's fucking amazing. What a great character study, and like so dark and intense and gripping, and an amazing performance. And I was like, that was amazing. I do not want a sequel. Right? I was like, because there's no need to do a sequel. That's like perfect. You just leave it there, and now your imagination can run wild as to where does that go in the future. What does that Joker do with Batman in the future? Like, you just, I was like, I do not want a sequel. And then I started talking about a sequel. I was like, I just said, I do not want a sequel, right? I'm getting deja vu. and the time that it could be a musical. I was like, oh, what? Like, what are you doing, right? And then I see the trailer. Shut the fuck up, Chris. You need to watch this movie. What did you guys think, or like, what was your thinking leading up to the Joker 2 trailer? Or...
I absolutely wanted a sequel after seeing that original Joker. It's like, because I want more of this type of movie, and the way they're handling him, because he's not part of a larger cinematic universe, they can be less precious with it, and almost genre hopping a little bit. So when he said about doing a musical, it's like if we could, obviously the first Joker, it has its own thing, right? But it's like Taxi Driver. It's a very Scorsese style film, but it's still its own thing. It has its own kind of tone, and the lighting and everything, I think, is such a signature look to Joker. And actually, probably my favorite thing about the two of these films, that one and what we're seeing in the trailer, is the lighting. I just think it's phenomenal. So when they said about it, the musical, I knew it was going to be like, oh, we could touch on the musical genre a little bit while keeping it within this tone that we've established. And I can't really think of the last time we've seen, like, I always associate musicals with kind of happy, outside of something like Les Miserables or something like that, right? But,
of course.
But generally, there's there's like a glamour to a musical, I think.
Like La La Land kind of thing?
Yeah, that kind of thing. They can definitely touch on heavy subjects and stuff. But when I seen this trailer,
Rent.
I'm thinking of
Every time you mention something, I'll come in with a. It's like, but they're generally kind of about romance. Yeah, like Grease, you know.
Yeah, man.
The examples will just keep coming in.
I got when I saw this trailer, I was like thinking back to like Sweeney Todd, which is one of the only musicals that I actually enjoyed, which is where you have these really grim characters as the heroes, and the love story kind of between those two in that, and the songs that they're singing is just like, this is fucked up, like this is really messed up. So I kind of feel like it'll be not like that 100%, but you know, similar enough in vein.
Yeah. Eric, give us your take.
When the movie ended, the first one, I was like, that was great. That was wonderful. Nothing like, was it around that time Venom was out or something like that? Like, yeah, like we were going through a weird super comic book hero sort of phase. So like hearing the idea that we're going to get Joker, which is one of the most despicable, horrible people in comic book history, like, you just, as entertaining as he can be on screen, you don't want to meet him. So the idea of doing an origin story of him is a bit like, are we going to like empathize with him? Is he going to be like this good guy? Are they going to, do essentially the one thing you don't want to do with any villain, comic book villain. But you do with the first movie, but more so, like, you understand why he is the way he is, or at least in the version of the story he might be telling in the first movie, which I think is very interesting.
Yes, of course. Yeah, he's an unreliable narrator. True.
Yeah.
In
the sense that you understand it, you still don't want to meet him though. You still don't. You're still not really going to agree with him, but you understand that back in the 1950s, the mental health area was shite, so you can understand. It's 50s, 60s, something like that.
No, it's not
the
80s. It's they don't specify when it is. They based it on 80s New York, but they never say a year.
The clothing,
my apologies.
Clothing and cars are,
Either way, that era not great for the mental health area, so you can understand why he goes down the route he's going down. But I was happy with just that being the story.
Yeah.
If they didn't make another one, I was fine with that. And then they said that they're in a sequel, and I was like, cool, and a musical, and I was like, interesting, because that's going to play yet again into the unreliable narrator idea that he is in the first one. That now is it like the musical is all taking place in his head, and then introducing Harley Quinn, and I was like, that's very interesting, because we do associate musicals with the romance, such as Grease. Even Sweeney Todd, in their fucked up way, have a romance going on.
And Rent.
But to tell the truth, I think all musicals that I've ever seen, love is always a theme in there. Whether it's a twisted love or a romantic love, or like, there's always, like, even Les Miserables, which is like, about revolution and all this kind of stuff. Like, there's a love story in there too that's really pivotal to that story. Like, there's kind of always a love story in musicals. And I think when I found out what Folie à Deux meant, which is it's a term that refers to a shared psychosis between two individuals, that's when I was like, okay. Okay, this is gonna be fucking great. And
she looks brilliant, by the way.
Casting
Queen.
Lady Gaga as
that's
brilliant, because she's a great actor.
Yeah,
I think to go along with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, that's an inspired choice. And I wouldn't be surprised if I would say she was in mind, in the same way as like Todd Phillips has said before, that when he wrote the first Joker, he couldn't get Joaquin Phoenix out of his head. He actually wrote with him in mind. He was drawing sketches of him. I was literally watching something last night about the behind the scenes, and Bradley Cooper, who works as a producer on the movie, was like, that drawing looks like Joaquin Phoenix. And Todd Phillips was like, yeah, I can't get him out of my head. And then they approached him and said, are you interested?
That's so interesting.
With Bradley Cooper having worked with Lady Gaga so heavily, obviously, on A Star is Born, I can almost guarantee they were like, look, if you're doing a sequel, Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, you have to. Like, she is going to work so well with him. How the fuck did they do that shot?
I know. I was watching the whole thing.
Everyone is talking about.
When I was watching the trailer, I was very much like, you know that the Futurama meme. You know, just sitting there, very, and I had a zero like emotion on my face. Just watching it. Now the first shot that really stood out to me that raised an eyebrow was when he was kind of walking, out of the. It was like raining, and you can see the 4 umbrellas around him.
Great
and
shot.
Everything is so monotone, but those umbrellas like really stand out in terms of color, and it's not to the extreme of something like Sin City in terms of color pop, but it's such a comic thing to do.
Well, I just love because they are black umbrellas, and then he envisions them as colored, and that immediately lets you know it's like, okay, a lot of these things, every time you see color, it's probably in Joker's head.
Yes,
you know.
And then of course there's that shot, and then I laughed maniacally when I saw it. So it was like, perfect. That's amazing. Yeah. And there's so many. I think the Joker smile thing is like that's his bat symbol or something like that. You know, it's like how do you do it? And everyone's always trying to reimagine that.
Yeah, a creative way of doing it. Yeah.
Some are like, it's just kind of different. Like I didn't really like the way they did it in the Gotham TV show, for example, where it's so obviously inspired by things that came before, and I don't like what they're doing in the Matt Reeves Batman either. It just feels kind of forced and not earned or something like that. But what they're doing here with this, like, that's amazing.
So I suppose just in case people haven't seen the trailer, please go watch it. But the shot we're referring to is at the end of the trailer when Lady Gaga's character puts the lipstick smile on the glass, and he lines up with it, and it's like the more he smiles, the more it lines up.
Yeah.
Until at the very end, it looks like it's on him, and it's like, how the fuck did they do that? Like,
how would you
did that just take? Did that just take like 100 shots or what? Like, how the fuck do you do that?
I think I know how they do that. But
funny enough, when I was watching it, Ash was beside me, and it was the one thing she commented on in the whole trailer.
Right.
And she went, "Do you think they did that in reverse?" And I was like, I just thought it was interesting that she even thought of that. Do you know?
Okay.
Which meant she immediately was also going, how the fuck did they do that?
Right.
You know, it's like a common question people are obviously having watching the trailer. I don't know how you do it. Apart from maybe like bits of tape or something that can be removed afterwards that help you line up. I don't know. Like,
I think it's interesting. Right, so these kind of really clever shots, they always seem way more complicated than they actually are, and generally it's always really simple shit. Is it that
the lipstick isn't there?
No, they have everything in camera. That's all shot in camera.
Yeah,
this is the way I would go about it anyway.
Yeah,
I put a mirror on the camera, so he's looking at his own reflection, so he can see it line up.
That's very clever.
And then he'll just continuously smile until that lines up.
Until it looks good. It looks good, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Now you might need to angle the lens slightly differently so that it's almost you have his reflection and the camera is actually picking up the same thing. He's looking at himself.
It's actually, I'm not gonna lie, that's probably, although everyone's like, whoa, how'd you do that shot? That's actually probably one of the easiest ones to do. Because it's either you use a mirror, you use markers, or you just rehearse the shit out of it. Like, it's actually...
Well, the rehearsal side of it is... Yeah, that's... that would take
Like,
a lot. Yeah, a lot of
but
time,
like
resources. Yeah.
yeah, but it can be we're going to this marker, you have to lean to there, and
Yeah.
it is a psychological thing for actors to kind of get into the mindset of nearly knowing where everything is and remembering where you have to go and where you have to stand, what way you have to look and everything like that. So
Mm.
as great as that shot is, it's probably not as difficult as maybe some people are theorizing.
It's
But
just
it is
so
just a
it's
great.
just so appealing because
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
when she does it not in front of him, you're like, what are
Mm,
you doing? And then when he leans into it and just makes it happen, you're just like,
yeah.
that's magic.
Yeah,
That's
it's
just
one of
cinema
those
magic
like
right there. I don't know.
there's so many like really low fidelity shit that just work beautifully, especially when you capture it for real and not have to rely on, oh, we're going to digitize that later.
Mm-hmm.
Like in example is like in Oppenheimer when they're doing the particle effects, like the things that he's seeing in his room. That's just Christopher Nolan holding a little yoke that's like he presses a button, it spins, and he has a light on the end of it, and he just brings it in on camera so that
Right.
because the focus is on Killian, naturally there's a blur on everything else around. So when you
Yes,
just
yeah.
bring that in, it's going to be naturally slightly blurred in the corner of his eye, but it's shot in camera.
I love it. I love it. It's movie magic. That's what it is.
I love shit like that. Where it's like, of course, we tend
Yeah.
to overcomplicate things a bit.
We do.
Yeah,
We do.
Yeah, well, that is like as Chris is saying, movie magic when you have your old magic. Someone has a card trick and everyone be trying to theorize and they'd be overcomplicating. It could be as simple as your finger was always on that card, or it's
Yeah.
just you have that card duplicated, or whatever it is. The card
Yes,
is
yeah.
always at the top. Like it's the simplest trick, but we
Yeah.
overcomplicate it because in reality we
Well,
don't want to
it's
know
the
how it's done.
presentation.
Yes.
It's the
That's
sleight of
wowzers.
hand side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's so sick. This is I mean, I'm 100% going to go see this in the cinemas.
Yeah, definitely.
Not,
Oh, yeah.
not wait at the earliest opportunity that I can. And I'm also just really excited to see another interpretation of Harley Quinn. We've had lots of interpretations of Joker, and Joaquin's is one of the most interesting ones. Margot Robbie has played Harley Quinn incredibly well, like a kind of comic booky, cartoony Harley Quinn. But I'm really looking forward to a grounded Harley Quinn. One that this was another character that had Christopher Nolan kept making Batman movies. At one point, I would have been interested to see what he would have done with a Harley Quinn kind of thing. So I'm just and I think she's a great casting, and I'm really curious. Sometimes she's on the other side of the glass. Sometimes she's a patient. I'm like, what is this version of Harley Quinn's backstory? Because maybe she's not the therapist this time, and is she just a patient in Arkham as well? And I also am curious if you do a sequel, right? And you always have to have that question, like, right, that was a really fucking successful movie, and Warner Brothers want a sequel, and is there a sequel to tell though? What's the second story? And when you open that can of worms, you also have to, whether you're going to do it or not, you have to have in thought, it's like, okay, if we do a sequel, is there a third? Not we're committing to a third, but we have to at least have the possibility of, if we were to do a third, what's a third, right? And the natural trajectory, but I have no idea how he would do it in this world. The natural trajectory would be Batman. But that's we'll see down the line if that ever happens. But it's just that he teased that story in Joker,
Yes.
in that the clowns killed the Waynes. And I wonder, does Bruce play a role in this one at all? It's somewhere, anywhere. I don't know. Like, he's never going to be in the marketing. He wasn't in the first one either. So, does it eventually lead somewhere? That's all and that I'd be really curious and really interested in how Todd Phillips handles that, because he's not a very grounded character. He's a bit,
Well, yeah,
so
I think
how do you go about that?
he would probably have it that Wayne grows up, inherits his stuff, and obviously Wayne, being after going through the trauma, is somehow always in the way of what Joker is wanting to achieve, whether that's like access to something, like in terms of his rights within
Sure.
Arkham or whatever like that. And Joker himself
envisions Batman.
It's actually he's a greater than life kind of enemy of his, and sees him as the Bat.
Sure, that would be.
I was about to say that. Yeah, what if the Batman design is of Joker's psychosis and not actually?
Yeah.
Batman.
So in this universe, it's the Joker
really
created Batman.
Yeah.
As opposed to normally it's the Batman created Joker in some capacity.
Yeah, and obviously, look, that's only theory crafting at the moment. I'm just curious. It's an aspect that I wonder, because he said when Todd Phillips made the first one, he was like, I couldn't help but tease at it. You know what I mean? I couldn't help.
I always thought that was a really interesting choice. I wasn't expecting it at all.
I wasn't expecting it at all. So I just wondered then, will he just leave it at that, or will there be that little itch? You know, it's kind of like when Nolan ended Batman Begins with the Joker card, and apparently he wasn't going to make a sequel. He was perfectly happy to leave it there, and it's like, and the Batman mythology continues from there. You know, in the same way as if Joker had stopped there, and the Joker mythology continues. You know, but people kept asking, like, yeah, but what would that Joker look like though? And that kind of was Adam. You know, he was like, yeah, that would be fun. You know? So I just wonder, is there an element to Todd where as he's making this movie, he's like, yeah, obviously Harley Quinn is the next logical step, and you know, he finds love in someone, but while love is a good thing, is it a very negative love, and it's going to push him further down a direction? You know, it's like, yeah, but I also did do that Bruce thing. Do I leave that, or will I retouch it? You know, it's kind of, I mean, if you're touching Batman at all, it's hard not to want to, you know, put your own little spin on that, isn't it? You know, like even like he did the Death of the Waynes, and it's like it's really hard not to want to do that.
Yeah. I wonder how that would
so iconic.
You know, because that would be the first time we'd ever really see, well, kind of so many different variations of Batman existing at one time in cinema.
Yeah, there is that where that could be.
How would the studio feel about that? Will they want to try and force fucking Matt Reeves' Batman in there somehow? Tonally, they would work together, actually, but
tonally they would, and it was part of me that, not that I wanted a crossover at all, but part of me wished Joaquin Phoenix was
his Joker,
Robert Pattinson's Joker in a way. But at the same time, I also kind of like that they can exist as their own entities. They're both dark, but in different ways. Matt Reeves' Batman is very dark, but still, I think, watchable to sort of like teens, right? There's still like an in there. Joker is kind of an adult movie. Like, it can be quite boring to a young audience, I think. Not every youngster is the same, but there's no action or anything like that to kind of get behind.
There isn't, and it's
pieces, you know.
Definitely dealing with a very real thing. Like and a
very heavy topic.
Yeah, a very heavy topic. That I think can be quite.
Which was actually such a challenge as well, wasn't it, to audiences? It was one of the things that some of the backlash to Joker, I think, was that I think the vast majority of people who didn't, not that they didn't like the movie, but certainly didn't want to like it and didn't want people to like it, was empathizing with the Joker. Right? It was almost like this is a movie that's trying to get you to empathize with someone who could go out and do that, right? And it's like, no, I don't think it's trying to do that. You may empathize with them. There's nothing wrong with that. You can empathize with someone and still not agree with their methods.
Absolutely.
You know, we can have and actually it's somewhat healthy to do that. Is if we look back at some of the, you know, serial killer films and things like that, you know, what led them to do that thing. It's important to have a good understanding as to what got there, so you know you can be aware of the signs in other people
and prevent it from happening.
Yeah, there's preventative action.
You've touched on something there. I was watching an interview last night of Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan's brother, who's worked on a lot of things with him, and also like the shows like Westworld and stuff. And he was actually talking about like when they were making The Dark Knight, because he helped on the writing on that. You know, people were asking, they were like, so what is your message? Like, what's your political message? You know what I mean? Like, what are you trying to say? And they were like, we're not trying to say anything. we're just like, we're raising the question, you know, and we're letting, and we have fun asking those questions and letting people discuss it. But we're not trying to say anything. We're not. There's no like point that we're pushing on people like, oh, we are the right wing or we are the left wing or like, you know, nothing like that. But people, he was like, there's so many people want you to be like, no, like I want to know your stance. Like, what's this movie's stance on this thing? And we're not saying we're pro Joker. We're not saying we're pro Batman. We're just, this is the movie and these are the questions that are thematic to the, you know. So yeah, similarly, I don't think Todd Phillips, when making Joker, was trying to push any kind of agenda or point. I think he was just like, this is the story.
Yeah, this kind of thing can happen.
Yeah, and what are the kind of things that would make this happen? Yeah. Well, maybe, you know, no support systems and, you know, huge amounts of crime and disadvantaged
really
areas.
Important of setting it in the past as well, to be able to tell that story. It makes it much more grounded and believable. That makes, But I think that's a heavy topic as well for young people to watch. Now, I know that the Batman deals with the kind of essentially the dark web of people that would exist today. But I think the Joker's one is a problem that that can be faced with a lot of people. So I think that's another thing that pushed it to 16s as well as.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, I think you've touched on something interesting there, which is the like. There is definitely like the Batman movie that Matt Reeves made is grounded and awesome. We have a spoiler cast on that actually. Check that out.
It's great movie.
And it was a great movie, but there is something a little bit more fantastical about it and a little bit more blown out of proportion, just like a little bit. And with Joker, the scary thing is that it's like, not scary, but he's an individual who is not getting help or support from anywhere. And he is being pushed to the edge. And I wouldn't be surprised. It would be heartbreaking, but I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't plenty of people who watched the movie and did not only empathize with Joker, but relate to him. Not his exact condition, not like the whole laughing thing or anything like that, but actually be like, that's kind of my life.
Yeah.
And that's upsetting. Like, that's sad, you know?
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, do you villainize those people or you do not villainize them? And I think the way people were discussing the character of Joker and it was odd to see that conversation that was kind of happening in the film come into reality online. Saying that, you know, you shouldn't like this character, and it's like, it's not about liking the character, it's about understanding the character.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting now with the second one is now the idea of Folie. Is that how you pronounce it?
Folie, I don't know.
Folie, or whatever way you pronounce it, but that idea of a shared psychosis. Now you have multiple people can go through this, and then what does that lead to? And it's interesting with this that when they come together, so for him, everything is very isolating. And like nothing is going anywhere, which I think is one thing in the movie, isn't it? In the first one, the clock doesn't change time.
Oh, it's cool. I didn't know that.
I think I've seen that where I think the clocks are always at the same time. So I suppose that's also him, which his life is going nowhere.
That's
so
sick.
Time doesn't move. But now he's found someone and life has become a lot more
colorful.
It's got a bit more music to it.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a really fun dark contrast with that, where it's like he's happier, but now he's got someone to like impress or to like protect or to like stick up for. Like, God forbid if at some point someone lays a hand on her. You know what I mean? Because he has a very violent side to him that was kind of trying to come out in the first movie, and that's been out now. So, you know, if anyone kind of crosses her, I guess I could see him being very protective of her once they come together. I'm looking forward to this movie, and it's great to get another adaptation of another great character in Harley Quinn. And we'll obviously be seeing this movie, and later on the year, hopefully doing a full spoiler review of it. So make sure you are following the podcast for that, and share your thoughts on what you thought of Joker Folie à Deux. What did you think of the first movie too? Let us know. We actually don't have like a review of that because we weren't doing the podcast at that time.
No.
But it's a great movie.
Dad wants us to do.
We've kind of just given a review now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Of it,
Pretty sick.
in a way.
Much
Dad
recommend.
wants us to watch. Dad wants us to watch both of those movies at Christmas Eve.
Excellent. Yeah, we made our
Right.
mom watch Joker on Christmas Eve. She was not happy. But speaking of adaptations, myself and Eric have watched Fallout, the new video game adaptation, which actually, funnily enough, there is a small connection there in the discussion because Jonathan Nolan, the reason I was watching that interview was because he was not only a major producer on the show, but he directed at least the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, at least the first 3. Yeah.
So he's heavily involved, and people who know his work from Westworld and stuff, it's like, oh, that kind of makes sense. I had zero expectations for this show whatsoever. Wasn't looking forward to it at all. Didn't know when it was coming out, so it's not even something I was keeping an eye on. And I just saw a post that people were like, Fallout is out now, and I was like, oh, is it? Oh, okay, I'll check it out. I'm not a Fallout fan, to be totally honest, as like a gamer. Like, I've played some of Fallout 3. I've never played any of them to completion. I am familiar with the world, and I'm familiar with like the Vault Boy and all that kind of stuff. But it's not a series that I'm like a major fan of, right? So I was able to just watch the show, and I had no like horse in the race at all. Like, I wasn't like, how closely are they adapting this or whatever. But in a world of bad video game adaptations like Resident Evil and good video game adaptations like The Last of Us, this is a good video game adaptation, I think. Eric, I'd like to hear your thoughts as someone who's definitely way more familiar with the Fallout series than
Yeah,
I am.
I mean, like, I've played and cleared Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, and I know a bit about New Vegas. And I would like you watched the trailers, and I was like, that looks like a lot of crap. Wasn't keeping an eye out on it. I heard about it, and then I heard like IGN saying this was better than The Last of Us. And I was like, okay, let's check this out then. And from essentially the opening scene, I was sold. I was like, okay, these guys are like taking this seriously in that this is Fallout. And then as it progresses, you're like, this is very much Fallout. They got everything down to a T. Really.
When you say that, what do you mean by that? Because again, I'm not that familiar with the game. I felt like I recognized the world they were showing me. I was like, that is very much the world of Fallout that I recognize. But when you say down to a T, like, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, so they have the Brother of Steel in it, and their objective. You know, like with most video game adaptations, they might have the Brother of Steel, but it's just that in name.
Sure.
Like, they had their entire culture, the ranking system, down to what it is in the video games, as well as what their objective is. They make an henchman of the Enclave, which the Enclave are in Fallout. You have like the different advertisement pieces in the world of Fallout there. So like they just made sure that all the sets and locations and designs were from the video game, rather than just being Fallout in name, which is what we got in the past so many times. So actually having that, even with the Pip-Boy, when they look at the Pip-Boy and the whole interface screen was just like the way it would be in the games. The fact of each of the vaults were built for a specific different experimentation reason, which is how it is in the games.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then having the kind of the satire, having the 1950s hairstyles and designs.
Yeah.
Which was great, and then having the brutality of the wasteland and having that element of satire mixed in with a kind of the horror of it, like, really took me by surprise.
It's darker than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a really fucking silly show, to be honest. And there's aspects of the first episode that, like, I don't think the first episode is like the best episode in this season at all.
Right?
Actually.
Yeah.
I think it's quite kind of slow to get going, and I'm like, it's okay. Like, I liked the opening, but then it kind of slowed down for me a little bit. But I think it was the second episode onwards where I was like, okay, I'm in. And there is definitely like I think it feels like they're getting like there's a moment where a character is told to do something and it feels like you've just been giving a quest from an NPC to do so. Like it felt like a mission in a game.
Right.
Um, and I just thought that that felt really in line with what the game feels like. I
Hmm.
also thought it was a smart decision to have multiple protagonists because Fallout as a series is all about the character you make and the choices you make. So it's like,
Right.
how do you, how do you portray that? So by having multiple characters in the world with different kind of moral
Hmm.
worldviews and stuff like that, you can maybe portray that a bit better rather than just having one character as your main character. Plus, the guy who's playing the character Maximus, he is so good. He can do, the acting that he does with his eyes is
Hmm.
fucking incredible. Which is, but the I think my favorite thing about the show. I don't know if like take that as you will, people. If you're like, oh really, eyes are your favorite thing about the Fallout show? That sounds shit. I was blown away by the acting that he could do with his eyes. I think he is amazing. Um, I wasn't as sold on the character of Lucy, but I think when you follow her whole journey, by the end of it, you're like, oh okay, like because Lucy is a very Lucy, the character Lucy was born in the vaults and then has to come out into the world for whatever reason, and she's very naive as to how the world is and also what her purpose is and things like that. And the wasteland, like, puts her through hell basically. Um, and I think the show does a really good job at something that I thought the Last of Us show didn't do very well. I thought the Last of Us show was very good at its characters, but it missed something in like showcasing how brutal the world was.
Hmm.
Right? Like it had brutal characters, but it didn't kind of there wasn't that sense of don't trust anyone and everyone's out to get us and even people who seem nicer out to get us and then you see like different factions of how people survived and stuff. I felt Fallout did that really well. Like there's lots of moments where there's characters and you're not sure if you can trust them or not. And then you get to a point where you could come across a person and you're like, well, I don't trust them because I haven't, no one has been trustworthy. And then they actually might be trustworthy. And you're like, oh, I just don't know anymore, you know? Like everyone is kind of out for themselves and everyone has an agenda and there is different factions who've come up with their own ways of living. And it is a very, very cruel world. And I thought they did that really, really well. Um, One issue I would have, even though it's also a pro of the show, they nail the music, right? But I found in the first couple of episodes they kind of do a David Ayer Suicide Squad on it, where they
Yeah,
use
yeah,
a
yeah.
few too many songs. You know,
And
it's not. You know,
what era are those songs?
well, they're the like I don't want to
Okay.
set the world
Yeah,
like
it
it's
is that. It's
all
those songs. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
it's it is that era songs. They're very like the music is very fitting to the show. It's
Mm.
perfect. But I just thought there was times where they were using too many songs.
Okay.
Where I
Mm.
was like, and here's another scene with a song, and here's another scene with another song, and I was like, oh, you could slow down a little bit on that because none of, and they do then. So later on when they start happening, it's like now it feels like a moment. Whereas in the
Mm.
first two episodes, it felt very much David Ayer Suicide Squad. Like, here's another character, here's a song to introduce them. Here's another character, here's a song to introduce them. Here's another place, here's a song to introduce that place. I just felt that a little bit. But once that calmed down a bit, I was like, okay, great. And then its own score is good too, I thought, especially towards the
I
end.
the Brotherhood of Steel's music I really liked.
Mm,
This kind of like it always had that kind of American drum kind of the American anthem style drum. So it has that mixed in with then this very I don't even know how to like, describe it, but like the best way is almost like an Iron Fist style music where it's like this is deep and you can tell that they are a war-bred people.
mm.
That their main theme is what you would hear when going to war, sort of. Um, yeah, it's hard to describe, but I really liked the Brother of Steel's music. I think the Ghoul, who was awesome. He's an awesome character, played by Walter Goggins, I think is his name. He had great
Walton
Walton
Goggins, isn't it?
Goggins. He had a great piece of music as well. So yeah, the music was
He's fantastic in the show. He's really good.
the music's actually done by Ramin Djawadi, who did Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know that.
A little
Okay.
fun fact for you.
So it's the Fallout series is getting the Vault Boy thumbs up from myself and Eric. I don't think though that means there's no problems. There is, and there's times where it's like that didn't look great, and oh that looks fake as fuck, and
Yeah, the actual the power suits look like cosplay.
which is weird because and
They're
as
real.
well at one point I thought it was like cheap CGI, but the suits are all real.
Mm.
There's just a weird, I don't know if it's the texture or the color tones or something, but they just look strange.
Look there's an element of too shiny. Like they should be more
don't
gritty
know.
and dirty.
But they're all real,
Yeah.
which I thought was wild. Also really surprised that like this show was first shown at Summer Game Fest last year, and I kind of thought that meant we weren't going to see it for a long time, and then it just suddenly drops. Like I didn't really see any marketing on it at all. Like,
No, yeah.
Just a couple of trailers.
and apparently they dropped it early. They said, you know what, it's ready here.
Fair enough.
No, seriously, I saw that. I think it was only like a day or 2 days early or something like that. They just went, you know what, here.
Yeah, and the fact that they released, because like it seems to be a common thing nowadays where it's like either you get an episode a week or it's like here's half the show, now wait a couple of months to get the other half of the show. It's great that this went, here's all 8 episodes, enjoy at your own pace.
Yeah, I like to binge stuff. I think I would have fallen off if I was watching it week by week. It would be called fall off, not fall out. But I don't know what that says about the show, but the fact that I could go in and watch each episode, and I had the time to do so, I just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna keep watching and see how this goes. But I think if it was week by week, other stuff probably would have taken my interest away, probably.
Mm-hmm.
The show, how close do the trailers sell the show?
I
do
don't
the trailers
think...
do them justice, or is this one of those things that you actually will just need to watch in order to gain does do the trailers look like the game?
I need to watch the trailers. I don't know.
Well, even the ones that were like shown last year, like what you were saying and stuff.
Yeah, well, I thought that looked like a cheap. My initial reaction when we saw the trailer at Summer Game Fest, which is the only time I looked at anything on Fallout, was that looks cheap as fuck, and no, it's not like that trailer.
Because I've seen a couple of clips even online. Like I haven't dived into it at all, and I have absolutely zero interest to check it out purely based on the clips I've seen. And like, there's people actually clipping scenes from it and putting it up on social media and stuff, and I'm like, and just nothing is drawing me into it.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. Like, it's not going to be for everyone at all. I think the quality of performances and the writing is what's good about the show. I think it's kind of hard to get the color tone of Fallout right. I don't know.
That's the thing that's really
and
throwing me off.
I knew that was going to be the thing that would throw you off. And I'm not like, I don't necessarily love the color tone of this show.
Right.
That's an area where, like, say, The Last of Us, was a much better show. It looks, that color tone is more appealing to me. So I would say The Last of Us looks like a better show. But there is sort of a cartoony, satirical vibe to Fallout.
So I think
it's a hard tone to balance.
I think what why I don't have much appeal or interest in this wanting to jump into this show is that this show to me looks like it's a show of Fallout 4.
Right.
I would actually,
because the color tone even kind of looks more in line with Fallout 4.
very bright and almost clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
And even that ghoul is.
But I think that is
definitely
for me.
Fallout 4.
I think that is an artistic choice, though, right? Because to me, as in the color tone, not just the characters stuff, to me, it surprised me how violent the show was.
Really?
It was way more violent than I was expecting.
See, Fallout's always been incredibly violent.
Yeah, but I just didn't think the show was going to be.
Okay.
I guess. I thought the show was going to appeal to a different audience, I guess. I don't know. I just had a different thinking of what the show was going to be. And I really wasn't going in expecting anything, except for I saw some reviews saying it's actually pretty good. And I went, do you know what? I have Prime. I'll just throw on the first episode and see how we go, like, you know? And I guess it just surprised me. And again, I'm saying that as someone who isn't that familiar with the games, you know? So, yeah.
I'm interested, yeah, because I to me, it looks more familiar, like it looks more in line with Fallout 4 era of Fallout.
Right. Yeah.
And where I would connect with Fallout is actually Fallout 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is definitely... And 3 is obviously really, really good. 3 is like this middle ground between old school Fallout and modern Fallout. And I think this looks more like an adaptation of modern Fallout, which I'm not really into.
Yeah, but most people would actually say when it comes to the modern Fallouts is that New Vegas is the best one.
Yeah, who isn't even... That's not Bethesda, is it?
No, it's not even Bethesda. So it's Fallout in world, not in... It's not following Fallout 4. Like, it's not...
No, I don't mean it's...
you mean the look? You mean the look?
I mean the look and the feel and the vibe of it. I don't recognize this Fallout. When I see those clips, I'm like, it almost looks like... Yeah, it's like it's too clean or something. Like the lighting for sure is definitely what's really throwing me off, and the color grading.
It's very bright. I think they wanted to go for like an oversaturated, very bright look as to be the world is scorched.
Yeah,
because
maybe if they had went more Mad Max direction, I'd be
all
in on that.
Yeah, I think it's in terms of shows, there was an element of it that reminded me of The Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, if you're going to compare it to any other shows, maybe where it's like this is kind of satire,
okay,
and it's also kind of really fucked up, but it looks bright and happy on the surface.
Okay,
like everything looks like it's great, and I don't want like everything is happy, everyone's happy, but deep down no one's happy, and this is actually a very cruel, horrible world.
Yeah, because like
that's what it is.
The vault that Lucy, she's the vault character, the vault dweller.
Now be careful, don't spoil anything.
But just that her vault is very happy.
Yeah,
so
I mean it should always be that way, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
So when so that satire is quite funny in that whenever she curses, she's like, "Oh fudge" or "Oh golly gosh."
Right.
But everyone else okie dokie a lot, right?
Yeah, okie dokie, and then everyone else is "Oh fucking," like there is a great moment on a bridge. I'll say that. It's a really great moment. So I reckon watch the first episode, and if it doesn't get you, maybe then don't watch the rest.
I reckon don't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think you've already made up your mind.
I think I probably have already.
You know? So that's
because I kind of feel like if I want like
other people, I guess I think should give it a go.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like you know, as far as a Fallout show, like Fallout itself is not original. Like really, it's not. Because it's literally just a fan project, kind of, can we mishmash things like Total Recall and Mad Max together and stuff, you know? It exists already, and Judge Dredd and stuff like that. So anything that I would want to get from that world, I think already exists in Medium. So I don't really know what this would be offering me as a fan of the original Fallout games.
Okay. I will say I prefer watching Fallout to playing Fallout. And I will be watching season 2.
Yeah, same.
I think this world is really interesting, and I enjoy watching it. But I do not really enjoy playing the Fallout games. I always think that the games have such interesting themes, but the gameplay sucks. But that's just me. That's not.
Yeah, well, I would agree with
who likes the Fallout games.
Yeah, I would agree with the. I think Fallout 3 onwards. Like even New Vegas, like what made New Vegas great is actually it's the writing. The writing is really good.
Yeah,
I can't
and that's what's really good here. I think.
Can't imagine anyone's gonna be like, that gameplay rocks.
What was so good? What was so different about the gameplay to 1 and 2?
So 1 and 2 was more like kind of the way original Baldur's Gate would have been, really. So it's top
Was it
down.
top down?
It's top down RPG, and when you got into combat, then it became turn based. So you only had a certain amount of action points to do per turn.
Yeah.
And that was where the VAT system kind of came in, which they absolutely ruined in later Fallout games. So the closer you get, obviously, that increases the chances of hitting. It increases your hit points. So it actually just everything about it was an actual RPG, which later games kind of just became first-person shooters.
But tonally, what was different?
It was more like Fallout was just Mad Max.
Right.
It was straight up. Everything about it was just. It was like even one of the first outfits you get in the original Fallout game was the Road Warrior outfit with it's the leather jacket, but the sleeve is gone.
Oh, right.
And he has the sawn-off shotgun, and then he has his dog, which is dog meat, which I know it continues in the other series, but
yeah.
But if you
There's
if you look at the cover of the Road Warrior, they even actually took it. They took the cover of Road Warrior and drew over it as the back cover for Fallout.
Yeah. Well, I will say there's a lot of Mad Max costumes in Fallout the show.
a lot of that kind of
there is a lot of Mad Max.
The punk rock.
There is. There's loads of that. Loads of that in it. I feel like while it might look like on the surface that it's maybe Fallout 4, I do think there's stuff in there that is the entirety of Fallout. I think they're referencing lots of eras. But Fallout probably hasn't been more popular than Fallout 3 onwards. So I guess they're also appealing to the larger audience, who enjoy Fallout, in a way that's like, if you were going to make a Final Fantasy show, you're not going to base it on one. Because it's not the most popular, if someone would be like,
that would be impossible.
That's my favorite one. Well, you do. If it was a show, you'd probably have to do. You'd either have to pick one and it's based on that one, or you'd have to do like, this is an original. It's like it's going to include Final Fantasy stuff, but we're doing it like as if it was a new Final Fantasy entry and tell a new story. But it's going to have like your chocobos and summons and things like that in the story. But you'd probably have to do that to make it,
okay, and not piss off people.
Yeah. It's like,
because if you do 6, you'll piss off the 7 fans. If you do 7, you'll piss off the 6 fans.
Yeah, somewhere out there, the 14 fans will be annoyed. But but yeah. So Fallout, let us know if you've watched it, guys. What do you think of it? Are you looking forward to a season 2? And are you a Fallout games fan? And from that perspective, did you enjoy the show? Like, do you feel the show captured the essence of Fallout? I can't really speak to that. But what do you think? If you've played it, please do let us know. I wanted to touch on very briefly, because it is something that we spoke about before. In the world of music, Linkin Park have released their Papercuts singles collection. It is now out. And we did talk about it before when they initially announced it. And we did say at the time that we're like, I'm not sure if all the right songs are here, right? And at the time, I don't think they'd even unveiled all of them. So we were still waiting on 2 or 3 other tracks. And we were like, if it's not whatever and whatever, that's a bit weird. And so since then, obviously, there's 20 tracks on the album. In case you haven't heard us before, sorry, we're big Linkin Park fans. That's where this is coming from. So, so there's 20 tracks on the album, including Friendly Fire, QWERTY, and loads more. I just got to get them up really briefly, right? And I just want like a really brief chat about this, right? Because this could turn into massive like tier listing debate and stuff. But I'm just wondering, like, what would you get rid of, and what would you put in instead, right? So the rules are, we can't go more. You'll have to keep the 20 tracks, right?
Okay.
Now I did see comments that Mike Shinoda originally wanted more songs, but Brad wanted 20, and this is where
that dude is always restricting the amount that goes on each album.
I know. Now, in saying that,
Brad,
you do have to restrict it somewhere, because otherwise you just put the whole discography on.
That's okay.
It's not. Just that would be like then you just go buy each album. You don't you don't need this one. So I have the track listing here.
I have in front of me as well.
I'm gonna. Should we put in any other rules? Right. So there has to be 20 tracks. I think another rule just to make it hard. Friendly Fire has to stay. Even though it's such a new song, but because it was released as sort of the lead single of this album.
Okay, yeah.
Anything else can go. That's not me saying I want Friendly Fire there, by the way. I don't. It's a fine song. It's definitely not in the top 20 Linkin Park songs, but you know.
Well, simply like
just
okay, so starting with number one, should Crawling stay or go?
Crawling should stay.
Stay. Faint, stay or go?
Stay.
Numb Encore, stay or go?
No.
Go.
That should go.
Because we know Numb is going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
Right, so what?
Stay.
Stay.
Breaking the Habit?
Stay. I think stay.
Yeah, that would have to stay.
50-50 with that.
I like as a personal reason, but I'm just thinking more on like what actually deserves to be there. I think it does deserve to be
I'm okay with it being there. I'm also okay with it not being there. That's my preference on Breaking the Habit.
Okay. What would you put there instead?
I don't know. I like that you're asking with Breaking the Habit and not Numb Encore.
Well, will we come back to the ones that are definitely gone to then replace them, right? Yeah. But Breaking the Habit, if 2 out of 3 are saying it has to stay, then it's staying.
So it's staying,
right?
Yeah.
Right. In the end?
Yeah, stay.
Staying.
Bleed it out.
Staying. Somewhere
I belong.
Stay.
I think it should stay.
I would say go, but okay. Waiting for the end?
Stay.
I'm 50-50 with that one as well.
50-50 with that one as well. I love it, but does it deserve to be there? Castle of Glass, gone.
I'm a little bit of a sucker for that one. I'd say stay.
I would say in the singles of Linkin Park. Yeah, I think it has to stay.
Okay. One More Light has to stay.
One More Light has to stay.
Yeah.
Burn It Down.
Stay.
Yeah. What I've done. Stay.
Stay. But why are some capital and not?
It's just the way they were titled.
That's weird.
Yeah, most of these are staying, I think, huh? What I've done is staying, yeah.
QWERTY.
Gone.
Yeah, that's a weird one, QWERTY.
Yeah, I don't.
I like QWERTY.
Like a bonus track, maybe?
Yeah, I'm glad that people can hear it now and that it's on streaming when it wasn't before. But no, it should not be in the 20 singles. No.
It's a weird one.
It's not a single. It is now, but it never was, so.
Could you say, that QWERTY and Friendly Fire now are the singles for this particular record?
Yeah, I think that is what they're saying. But the difference is we actually heard QWERTY before. And people who had the underground albums had QWERTY. Friendly Fire was actually a song that nobody had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like Friendly Fire can be put down as the single of this album. And QWERTY is an underground track that they've put on the album, you know? So, QWERTY's gone.
One step closer. Stays.
Stay.
New Divide stays.
Stays, obviously, yeah.
Leave out all the rest.
I'm like, either this or Shadow of the Day. But one of them, should stay.
Why? Like, is this supposed to be a collection of all the singles?
Yes.
Well, then it doesn't have all the singles, does it?
No, it's not a collection of all the singles, but it has to be singles though.
I'm confused. What's making a single? All right, this conversation that's supposed to be nice and quick is now coming into a big topic.
To help you whether it's all right, a single is a song that gets released and gets played on the radio to promote an album, right? Usually a single doesn't have to be. Usually a single has a music video.
Right.
Usually.
Leave out all the rest.
Any of the Linkin Park songs have music videos, they are singles.
Okay.
That just to help you figure out what's a single and what's not.
I'm okay.
Why should leave out all the rest stay though? If something like Numb Encore is going, Numb Encore arguably being a much bigger single.
Because Numb is there, so we don't need Numb Encore.
Okay, that's not really why I'm thinking about it. I'm just thinking in terms of like it's just kind of a shit song.
I think Leave Out All the Rest is a big song though.
It's a good song. I don't know if it's big. It's big,
it's
maybe
massive.
within.
I think it's huge
within the Linkin Park fans. But if I was,
I think it's Titanic. I think it's gargantuan.
I think it's absolutely
I don't know.
right. Eric, what do you think? I say it should stay. Adam's saying it should probably go. What do you think?
Oh, that makes me the deciding factor.
It does, yeah. Go on. Don't spend too long on this one.
I was going to be 50-50 with this one. Like,
Right. Well, flip a coin on it then.
I'll say go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
Last?
Stays.
Numb stays.
Stays.
Friendly Fire stays.
Has to
Friendly
stay.
Fire has to stay just for this one. All right.
Yeah.
So that means Leave Out All the Rest is gone, QWERTY is gone, and Numb Encore are gone. So they're the ones we've 3 to replace with, right? So let's start with where Numb Encore was. Come on, the Catalyst.
Yeah, I was about to say the Catalyst. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all in agreement there.
Yeah.
Right, put the Catalyst in there. Okay. Then QWERTY. For a similar energy, I think a Hunting Party song should be here.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
But which one?
Guilty
all the same. Yeah, Guilty all the same.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Guilty all the same. Put it in there. And then instead of Leave Out All the Rest,
Shadow of the Day.
it would be the other kind of big single from that album. Yeah, it would. That's true.
Could you put in another Hunting Party one?
I don't know.
Because it's the album. It's a good album, and it's got nothing there.
It is unusual to have absolutely nothing. Yeah, I mean,
all the other albums have at least 2 songs.
Fucking Until It's Gone.
Yeah, right. So this is a personal thing, though. I would agree. Until It's Gone,
but
for
that
me,
has a
better
music video.
Yeah, and it's a better song than Leave Out All the Rest. It is not a bigger song than Leave Out All the Rest.
No, it's not.
It's a gargantuan song, man.
Maybe not a bit. I don't know. Is it not?
No, it's definitely not. As in, Leave Out All the Rest will be played live, and Until It's Gone.
What
will
about
not.
Heavy? There's actually only one. Heavy was a single. It was actually not too bad.
Heavy was big, yeah.
And it wasn't too bad. And there's only one song from that album on this playlist.
Yeah, I see. The thing is with that album, though, like, no one's going to argue, I think, about One More Light, the song, just because of its connection.
What it means.
But,
yeah.
I mean, that was definitely a controversial album from them.
Yeah.
Even more so than The Hunting Party.
Yeah, but sometimes you just got to own that, you know what I mean? It is what it is. These are our songs, like it or not.
Are you able to get up? Are we able to get up listens, like the actual stats of some of these songs?
I don't know.
Do we know the stats of like Leave Out All the Rest versus
Until It's Gone? I can tell you right now, it's higher.
Yeah.
Well,
are we just gonna put the song back in?
Leave Out All the Rest is a really popular Linkin Park song.
I don't care.
Is it?
All right, I tell you what. Go on to YouTube and look at the views then. Right, let's just do that for a second.
Okay, all right.
Right, the music video views.
We've also just discovered that whenever let's have a quick discussion.
Yeah, that we cannot.
It's all good. It's all good.
We are. Yeah. Just bear with us, everybody, while we fix Linkin Park's new album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
that's a lot of views.
Search. Wait, all right, did you get it? Mine's real slow. What
yeah,
have you got?
237 million.
Who's that? Leave Out All the Rest?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Until It's Gone. Yeah, 46 million. Wow. That's ridiculous.
I told you.
People don't know that song exists.
The Hunting Party got really overlooked, even by Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems. Yeah. So, okay. So are we... Is Leave Out All just back in, or what's the story?
I guess so.
Oh,
I
okay.
guess so.
It's back, everyone. So there's our version of Papercuts then. It'd be Crawling Faint, The Catalyst, Papercut, Breaking the Habit, In the End, Bleed It Out, Somewhere I Belong, Waiting for the End, Castle of Glass, One More Light, Burn It Down, What I've Done, Guilty All the Same, One Step Closer, New Divide, Leave Out All the Rest, Lost, Numb, and Friendly Fire. What would you have kept or taken away if you're a Linkin Park fan? Let us know. And if you haven't listened to these songs, you're like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I came here to listen to Fallout and Joker. What are you on about? Then there's a collection of Linkin Park singles that you can now listen to on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, and it's a good place to start getting into them because some of them are their biggest songs ever. So great place to start. I am surprised that track number 1 isn't Papercut. I would always start with Papercut rather than Crawling.
Yes.
I think they just should have swapped Papercut and Crawling around in terms of track listing. But that's just a little thing. That's a little thing. But yeah, cool. So I think we're coming to the end of this week's episode. We did say it was a side quest episode, and just as we finish up, how are we enjoying the side quests in Rebirth?
Not enough bow wows.
Not enough bow wow wows. We said we were taking a break from the Rebirth spoiler cast, that's for sure. But just while we're here, and this is largely a gaming podcast, just take a quick opportunity to talk about a quick brief opportunity, Eric, to talk about the side quests and fun activities in Rebirth without getting into any kind of spoilers. But
Wow.
do we enjoy the side quests? Are they fun?
I think now I'm starting to feel that fatigue that Eric was feeling very early on.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm like I wish there was other methods to level up without having to do the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
They definitely start to lose their charm a bit. There's a few that kind of pop up that are quite unique every now and then, but the ones that are kind of surface level available, I think maybe each region needed to have a little bit more interest. And it's also starting to get a bit it's like if you go to start a side quest and someone will be like, "Oh, I need you to do this thing for me." It's like, great, I know I'm gonna have to fight something at some point during this. There's very few side quests that don't involve some sort of combat, and there's already enough combat in it. I would have loved to have seen something a little different.
Yeah. It'd be nice to have a little bit more variety. I think what I like about the side quests is the character moments you get, rather than the quest itself.
Yeah.
But that always kind of made them worthwhile. Then, like just getting a great moment between the characters, or further fleshing out their character. And then sometimes you just get great badass music. Like there's some of the legendary fights. Like I remember being in the Junon region, and there was to go fight the Mind Flayer, and I was like,
"Oh yeah, I just did."
I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "There's a Mind Flayer in this game," and then you go fight it, and it looks fucking cool, and the boss battle team plays.
Yeah, it's very good,
and it's a really sick rendition of it. And you're like, hey, do you know what? This is a reminder of this game is sick. It's like it's like sometimes you get these like low points, and you're like, oh god, I don't want to do this, or oh, this is a stupid task.
Follow a dog.
And then every so often you get to fight the most epic enemy with the most epic music, and you go, oh fuck yeah.
I had just completed that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah.
So there is some good ones. I suppose the point in the game that we're at now, in terms of the spoiler cast chat, which we're not getting into, but is that we have the tiny Bronco and we can travel the world. So it's a good opportunity to go around and explore and do fun stuff. Eric, without specifics, do you have a favorite side quest from Rebirth, or can you say is it?
Jesus,
But I don't think there is any more side quests after this point. Just to let Adam know.
Yeah, there is.
Is there? After this point.
When you have the tiny Bronco? Oh, like a fucking...
After this point.
Like if you're going on to... If I went on to the next
chapter.
If you go to the next chapter. Oh, yeah, no, that's your...
Yeah, they're all... Like, he has them all now, like, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Favorite side quest... I fucking can barely remember any.
Is it the one at the dog that goes bow wow wow bow wow wow? Because you love that music so much.
That is horrendous. Everyone who says it's great must be high as shit. Nah, if you like it, each to your own. I hate that though. There's actually a bit, right? Speaking of the dog, in Gongaga, you follow the stupid dog and the bow wow wow music playing, and it's just so annoying. And the dog actually, because Adam was just talking about how there's already enough combat in it, that side quests don't need combat. That dumbass dog actually runs into fields where there are enemies, so you can fight them, and then he just leaves the field and continues on the path. I'm like, what was the point of that?
Maybe he's a good dog, and he's like, great, I've got some guys around now who can clear out those enemies that I saw earlier on to make the world a safer place. Good boy. You leave that dog alone. That dog is doing his job.
Annoying dog.
Dog was a saint.
Bow wow.
What I want to see now towards the end is that dog reappear, like Resident Evil 4 style.
Oh my god.
It's that dog.
Oh, I'll never forget. I was actually telling Eric the other day that I, for some reason, just got like into a Resi 4 mode again. I listened back to our spoiler cast of Resi 4. and I was just reminded how good that game. I was like, that is such a fucking good game. Like that is incredible. Like the Resi 4 remake was so good. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing. Like they nailed it. They nailed it, man. But anyway, sorry.
Good job.
Thanks. That dog.
Yeah, I don't remember all of them, but I think the highlights are just the dialogue between the characters and developing the kind of, because a lot of them are just go get that. Oh look, some creature took it, fight it, and then other times it's like go there, now go over there, now go over there. I was like, you're making the side quest so much longer than it has to be, and there's already a shit ton of content that I have actually no interest in doing anymore because this game is already long enough. So I think it is more just I think I've said before, like this game, at its highlight is the characters and the writing.
Yeah,
really.
Have you got a favorite one, Adam, that you've come across? Or
I don't
stand
think
out.
I have a favorite, but it's just there was one. I probably will just save it for the spoiler cast, but there was one I just did recently enough in Corel, and I was like, I don't remember you at all, and you look really fucking weird.
Right, okay.
I actually had to look it up and go, was he even in the original game? And I was like, oh, and then memory comes back. It's like, fucking hell, what a reference.
Wow, I'm trying to think what that is now, so I'm looking forward to hearing that. For me, it's probably the Proto Relic quest in Nibelheim. I got a lot out of that. I thought it was it's an annoying start for sure.
Yeah, I only did a start, so I have to do the rest.
I just thought I had a nice payoff without saying what that is.
Cool.
But I was like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting that in a side quest, I guess. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes they do that. They just have moments where you're like, why is this optional? You're like, what if someone misses this? This seems important.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. But again, let us know if you're playing Rebirth, guys. What are you enjoying about it? We will be back to talk about it in our continuing spoiler cast. We have plenty of them up already. You can go listen to them if you haven't already. But make sure you're subscribed and following the podcast for the future ones that are to come. So if you guys have been watching YouTube, make sure you jump down in the comments to share your take on everything we brought up. And if you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for all future episodes. So those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take Again to give your take on everything we brought up in this week's episode. We will be back next time to talk more Rebirth and stuff like that. But until then, thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.